Happy New Year and welcome to the IBM update. And for the start of 2024, in this update I'll be discussing the top 3 articles from the 2023 blog posts and videos as reported by Proximity, your premier partner for IBM solutions, support and development. Now, in 2023, the third most read and watched article from the IBM update was from the June blog post. In this edition, I visited the beautiful city of Prague and joined Common Europe for their summer conference. There were a number of interesting vendor presentations, but AI brought a lot of attention. My first session was hosted by Remain Software CTO Wim Jongman, and he discussed using ChatGPT with RDI. Wim first gave a brief history of AI, then went through a practical exercise in real time of creating a simple Java program using ChatGPT. Further on, he explained how ChatGPT can support your development activities, from crafting SQL instructions to creating and decoding legacy code. Here he introduced a dedicated API for RDI Eclipse that allowed you to write code faster and more efficiently, all within the one GUI. It was all very impressive and all delegates left with huge grins. Now, the second most read and watched article from the IBM update in 2023 also came from the June blog post. Here, Alan Saden, principal of Saden Group, discussed the pros and cons of modern web languages to use and code in on the IBM. The other vendor presentation I'll feature was the Web Language Shootout by Alan Saden, principal at Saden Group. He provided an unbiased opinion on the open source web language choices for API and web development. His parameters for qualification were threefold. First, the language could provide and consume API services. Second, the language could drive web applications. And third, the language can call and be called by both RPG and COBOL. Now, I encourage you to review his presentation in its entirety, but the 3 qualifying languages were PHP, possibly the most popular web language on the planet, Python, the most modern and clean, and Node.js, an efficient JavaScript runtime. When looking at each language, he applied some objective criteria. These included the stability and support of a language, its longevity, any superpowers it has or what it's really good at, and the real litmus test, how simple it is to create a Hello World script. Alan went on to explain that the rate of change in a language and stability are 2 opposing forces.
Faster, it's like the speed of change, rate of change, how dynamic, and stability are kind of 2 opposing factors.
He left the decisions on what language was appropriate to the audience, but went on to provide some considerations. With PHP, you'd enjoy the most established web language on the IBM with a wealth of support, repositories and frameworks to choose from, with a continually growing community. Python is dependable, clean language with exciting prospects, but does have some compatibility issues if you're looking to push the envelope. Similarly with Node.js, this is stable but still evolving and could be a favourite if you're familiar with JavaScript already. However, the most read and watched article of 2023 was from the March blog post. In that, we covered artificial intelligence, namely ChatGPT, and discussed what it could do, its coding capabilities, how we can harness this, and how it could change what we do. Within the update, I introduced a piece of work that Robert De Pedrini of FAQ 400 completed when he investigated how OpenAI could help support RPG development. He asked ChatGPT to write him a simple ILE program, and the results were quite fascinating. Roberto was working on ChatGPT 3.5 and described the technology as
fantastico.
He started by politely introducing himself and asked for help in writing a simple ILE program. He then asks ChatGPT if it can create a program to read from his customers table and create a list. Instantly, ChatGPT obliges and writes the RPG program for him. Roberto didn't say what his customer's table was like, so without direction, ChatGPT creates the RPG in Fixed. So next, Roberto asked ChatGPT to change the parameters, switching to free format ILE. Again, ChatGPT compiles and applies free format, but not quite in its entirety. ChatGPT requires further direction, and Roberto asks for full free ILE with the DCLS specs. Thankfully, GPT doesn't take offense, apologizes even, and adds the fixes to code to produce the full RPG ILE. Next, Roberto explains that he prefers to use embedded SQL, so not a problem. ChatGPT goes about modifying the code to apply the I/O to embedded SQL. Checking the code, Roberto has a suggestion on its use of endexecs. ChatGPT agrees and again updates the code accordingly. So Roberto concluded that with the right direction, ChatGPT can be an excellent tool to support development on the IBM I. Thank you for taking the time to read and watch the blog posts. We hope to have plenty more coming in 2024. But should you wish to view any of the articles featured in full, please see our blog on the Proximity website. But for now, I'm Andy Nicholson. We're Proximity, the IBM I partners that are in your corner. We'll see you next time.